get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 3 gang, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. Part 3 gang, y'all. Let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. Man, that joke was crazy, man. That man sat right there and said he told his sister after she cried on the phone and told him not to mess with that man. He said he told his sister that he still gotta have this dude, man. When he said that, I was like, bro, what you mean? He was like, look, when I get that hammer back this weekend, I'm gone, Weezy. This is all it is. That's why I came over here to kick it with you, man. Cause I ain't gonna be able to come over here tomorrow. Then, Saturday I gotta have. I'm like, bro, listen, man, look. This wasn't funny, I promise y'all, man. But just how everything was unfolding and he was talking and like, he made it sound like he didn't have a soul. Like he didn't care. Like he didn't care that he was about to take somebody out and probably have kids, you know what I mean? Like realistically, he probably didn't really have nothing to do with the situation with his nephew. He just related to the guy that did something to his nephew, allegedly. So like John, like, you know what I mean? He had to make himself into a demon on the low within his soul, kind of like, so he don't even want to listen to his sister. His sister just gave him like a good piece. The man coming in and tell me, and this man said he still gonna get that dude, man. So I'm like, man. So he was like, that's why I just came here to sit in with you, bro, real quick. He said, that's why I just came to sit in here with you, bro. If I can just holler at you one more time, man. He was like, bro, they probably sent me the red onion that same weekend. He was like, cause I already know how I'm gonna get him. I was like, how you gonna get him? He said, man, I'm gonna come over here and 229 over in your cell. I said, oh, you gonna do what, John? He was like, I'm gonna come over here and 229 over here like I'm doing now. He was like, well, you ain't gotta be in the cell though. You can be out like out the bar. I said, bro, listen, I'm not finna be nowhere and you not finna be nowhere near my cell, bro. If you coming over here to underlive somebody, bro, I'm not getting caught in a conspiracy. I don't wanna talk to investigators. I don't wanna talk to nobody, bro. So like, no, you cannot come to my cell. He was like, man, look, I was gonna catch him. When y'all leaving out for child, just come get down on behind him and just start hitting him and just take him down. I was like, bro, you still can do that. You work the yard, man. Like, what do you mean you gotta come over here? And I said, man, look, man, keep me out of that junk, man. I ain't got anything to do with that, man. I'm trying to talk you out of doing what you're doing. Man, you trying to involve me into this madness, man. I said, man, what you got going on though, John? He was like, man, sometimes when you're thirsty for blood, like, you don't think straight though, Weezy, man. He was like, man, look, between you and Reek, man, like y'all crazy. He was like, Reek told me about the dude. The reason why I moved over here is because of Reek. And Reek told about he wanted me to just fight the dude. He was like, man, I want to do him bad. I want to do him dirty, Weezy. I ain't fighting. What I'm gonna fight for? I'm gonna do him bad, just like they did my nephew. I was like, man, calm down, man. I was like, look, man, real talk. He went to the door and looked. He was like, they ain't back from rent yet. He be like, man, look. He turned around and be like, Weezy, look, man, I got to have this dude, though, bro. Like, I'm just letting you know, man. Like, junk crazy, man. I was like, man, that junk crazy, man. Like, he was saying that junk. I was like, I know this sounded messed up, but like he sounded like he had his mind made up. His mind was made up, y'all, and like I couldn't let a collector's item get past me, man. This was a Lawrenceville collector's item, and I know this wasn't the time, but still, though, he was like, yeah, Weezy, I'm just gone. I said, well, look then, man. I said, what you gonna do with that lamp you got, man? Like I told y'all, the lamps on there, y'all's exclusive game, y'all. So boom, and the lamps come around every blue moon. So when you find someone with a lamp, you better get it. And I already had a lamp, you know what I mean? He was like, you already got a lamp, Weezy. I was like, no, I want 2 lamps. What's up, bro? I was like, you might as well let me get that lamp then, man. He was like, ain't nobody else asked for it. I was like, man, let me get it then. I said, you about to crash out. You know what I mean? I was like, let me get the lamp, man. He was like, all right, I'm gonna bring it back over here. man. I'm gonna bring it back over. So as he's saying that, you can hear the wreck coming back. You hear the noise open, your door open, you can hear the noise, you hear everybody running, all the, you know what I mean? This is how sound when wreck come back in penitentiary. So he at the door looking, he like, I'm just looking at his face, he like, he said, they go fat boy go right there. Yeah, look at him. He called his name, I ain't gonna say his name, he like, look at him. Yeah, I'm glad he don't know who I am. Ain't nobody tell him that I'm the uncle, the dude they supposed to unalive. I said, maybe because he think he don't have nothing to do with it. That's why he was like, nah, he got something to do with it. Man, I know he do. He knew about what was going on. He was like, if somebody in my family had to pay, somebody in his family got to pay. I'm like, he was just stalking him like a lion. He was like, yeah, I know it. I know it. I know. He said, wait till I get this joint back tomorrow, though. Yeah, wait till I said, man, when you gonna give me the lamp? Like, real talk, man. Like, don't miss me on the lamp, man. He was like, nah, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, that's a guarantee, Weezy. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. I was like, all right, man. I stood up. I was like, man, I'm gonna holler then, bro. He was like, man, hey, Weezy, you always been cool, though, bro. Like, real talk. I mess with, like, real talk. I mess with you, Weezy, man. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I was like, bro, listen, I get it, man. Like, but at the same time, though, man, I was just like, yo, I just wish you luck in the mountains, though, man. I was like, he was like, I already know. He was like, I'm just gonna go there and just lay it down, Weezy, man. He said, I'm gonna go there and write a book. Just you know what I mean? So I probably get 5 more extra years. I might gotta do now. I'm probably do about 25, 30 years altogether, but it's all good though, Weezy, man. I'm used to prison now. It was so sad, y'all. Like, this conversation me and bro had, this was a crazy, sad situation because, like, to hear him talk, man, like, I was like, man, this man just say he might end up having to do 25, 30 years. Like, he was saying that junk like it's nothing. He was saying that, like, that time wasn't even going to affect him. He was saying that, like that junk was just something that just you can just throw in a bucket, man. He'd be like, yo, that's how much time I got, man. This man didn't care about nothing except getting that get back, y'all. So boom. So now it's like almost Friday evening. We going to dinner. So we went to dinner. I seen Reek. So when I seen Reek, Reek was like, hey, look, you holler at him again. I was like, man, no. I was like, but look, he popped up at my cell. You know what I mean? I was like, he came to my cell and he talked to his sister, and his sister talked him out the joint and was telling him, please don't mess with this dude. He was like, man, I was hoping he'd do that. I was like, yeah, man. He was like, I'm glad she talked him out that junk, man. I was like, nah, bro. He was like, what? I was like, yo, that man said he told his sister that he still got a hair dude, man. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, psh. Man, he was like, man, this is my fault, Weezy, man. He was like, cause look, check this out. He was like, it's so small where I'm from, Weezy, man. He said, man, the dude, that's his uncle, that John about to get. He said, man, he related to my baby mama, man. He kin to my baby mama. I'm like, for real, man? He was like, yeah. He was like, man, I should tell him, man, like, cause this is my fault, man. Like, just like tell him, like, just, I was like, bro, nah, then you gonna betray John with that, John. I was like, bro, listen, bro, it's too late. I said, it's too late, man. Ain't nothing you can do. It's nothing you can do, man. He was like, nah, Weezy, man. Like, man, this is all my fault, man. I'm saying in my head, yeah, this is all your fault because Unc was chilling, man. Like, you got him to move all the way over here from 30 building to come over here to get back, man. I was like, man, I wanted to be like, this is your fault, but this wasn't the time to point fingers right here, y'all. Like, this wasn't a point finger type of situation. But I'm like, look, bro, like, for real, I'm just trying to be real with him about this. Like, yo, look, he already got his mind made up. I said, he said when he get that junk back tomorrow, he gonna put in work. I said, look, man, this man basically came and gave me my last conversation, said he just wanted to holler at me, man. I said, man, I told him let me get the lamp. This word, Reek was like, man, I was going to ask him for the lamp, Weezy, man. I said, man, I thought we supposed to be talking him out of this, man. He was like, you asked him for the lamp? I was like, man, look, man, I need that junk, man. I was like, my lamp about to go out. He was like, man, you got it. I was like, man, my junk about to go out. He was like, let me get your joint in. I was like, all right. Because my junk was on the last leg, like my little claw that you could put on the table because the junk came with the little, you know, it come with the little claw that sticks on the stuff, then it's the little joint, then it's the lamp. Like my claw was broke on the joint. I used to have to ring my joint up with the string and make sure the claw stay on the little joint right there. It was time for a new one, y'all. So boom. So me and Reek kind of going back and forth about the lamp now. We ain't even talking about dude life on the line. You know what I mean? Dude might be getting unalive right before our eyes soon, man. Like, but that was the pettiness in us, man. But the whole time though, y'all, I just felt like, man, what else can I do? There was nothing else I could do, man. This man own sister ain't talking about this junk, man. The man own sister ain't talking about this junk, man. So I'm like, man, there was nothing else for me to do. So me and Reek kicked it a minute. I walked Reek back to his building like we did last time. Then we seen John. John pulled up again. When John pulled up again, he seen Reek. He was like, hey, look, man, if I don't see you tomorrow, man, look, I love you, man. You know how to write me, man. You know how to write me, man. You get out, you know how to write me, man. You know how to write me, man. This word, Reek was like, shh, I ain't trying to do that, man. Look, man. Look, man, look, for me, man, let that shit go, man. He was like, look, I just found out that the dude related to my baby mama, man. He was like, John looked at him like, he related to your baby mama? He was like, yeah, man. He's like, he kin to my baby mama, man. This word, John was like, man, how he kin to your baby mama? And because, man, my baby mama told her that's her uncle on her daddy's side, man. He related to her daddy. So I'm like, I'm just sitting there listening to this John. He like, man, It's too late now. Man, tomorrow, man, look. Man, tomorrow, man, look, man, nah, forget that. Nah, man, you ain't saving him, Reek. Nah, you ain't saving him, man. You can't do that, Reek. I was like, man, come on, man, that's the man, baby. That's the man, child peoples, man. Come on, man. I said, man, for real though. I said, John, you wildin', man. I said, everybody trying to talk you out this joint. Your sister, Reek, me, everybody trying to talk you out this joint. I said, you know why? I said, because that's not the dude that unalived your nephew, man. I said, think about it. He's not the dude, man. I said, that's not the dude that unalived your damn nephew, man. He was like, he know about it. He related to him like I told you. Everybody got to pay. Forget that. When you come in prison, you got to see me. I'm like, shh. Man, Reek was like, man, you ain't making no sense, man. He was like, man, look, man, I told you the man related to my peoples, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all need to fight or let that junk go. He was like, nah, man. Nah, man. I was like, he stormed off. Conversation was over. Reek was like, I tried, man. He was like, man, for real though, Weezy, man, I might say something to dude, man. He was like, because I don't want dude to be blindsided, man. That junk gonna destroy me. He said, because I sent I told my baby mama what was going on. I'm like, he said, man, my son got a job. I said, man, you stay getting in the cell with somebody with a jack, man. He was like, no. So he was like, man, like, I sent I told her what was going on. Like, I ain't know what else to do, Shaw. I'm like, shh. I didn't tell her. He was like, man, that's what she told me they was related. I was like, man, that's crazy, man. He was like, man, I might tell him, Weezy, man, because I don't want that man. I'm going to feel bad, man, if he end up getting unalived up here, Weezy. I'm like, bro, listen, you cannot tell him. That's the last thing you can do, bro. You cannot warn this man. I said, because that could backfire. He could get at freaking John, and it still can be on your conscience, man. So I was like, for the time being as of right now, man, I mean, just keep your mouth shut, y'all. So boom. I had to tell him that, bro. Shut up right now, bro. You don't say nothing. Don't you go alert dude about it, because we don't know how this gonna turn out, man. Bro went in his building, you know what I mean? They finally told me to dip. Bro went in his building. So as I'm coming back to our building, I see John standing up there like an old head with a trash bag in his hand. He got his foot on the wall. He just standing on our building. So I walk up. I wouldn't even say that. So I walk to the building. I'm like, he was like, hey, Weezy. I was like, what? He was like, hey, I'm gonna come over there at the count, man. I gotta holler at you. I'm like, what you gotta holler at me about, man? He was like, man, I'm gonna holler at you, man. I said, man, listen, I don't want nothing to do what you got going on. I told you, man, like, if you trying to come in here, he said, man, I ain't got the jump yet. I don't get the jump till tomorrow. He was like, man, I'm gonna holler at you though, man. I'm like, all right, man. So as he's saying that, it was a dude all the way in the bro building that was calling him. So he talking to me, we about to, cause he in the building with me, we about to go in 60 building. But when somebody called him, he was like, hey, he was like, hey, John. He was like, yo, like such and such want you to say, come here right quick. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hurry up, man, I'm gonna wait for you, man. So I stood at the door, he dipped. He shit down there, you know what I mean? He shit down the 80 building. He was down there like 5 minutes. I get to talk to the CEO about something. You know what I mean? CEO dipped. It's just me standing out there with another dude. So he stayed probably like 5 minutes. Then he finally came back. So he come back. When he come running back down the boulevard, he pull up. He walk in the building with me. We like, all right, we walk in the joint. I was like, man, look, you still coming over there at the count? He was like, yeah. He was like, look. And man was like, look, hold me down right quick. I was like, what? He was like, gosh, that's my, I heard the sharpness when he pulled this joint out, yo. I heard the sharpness. That joint was like, oh, shit. He was like, man. I was like, man, put that joint up, man. He was like, yeah, he gave it to me early. I was like, hey, bro, what you? He was like, look, I'm still, I said, no, you're not. I said, no, you're not, John. You're not involving me in that. He said, man, look, I ain't gonna do nothing right now. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna wait till the morning. That's when I'm gonna do it. Relax. I just gotta holler at you. I said, man, no, man. I said, you lying. I said, I'm not being a part of that, bro. I said, bro, listen, I go home 2017. No, sir, John. You wildin', man. Don't put me in the middle. He was like, man, on everything. I'm just coming to holler at y'all, man. He said, I'm just coming to holler at you, man. Make sure your celly ain't in there, man. I need to holler at you one-on-one. I'm like, man, that's your word, man. He was like, man, that's my word. I said, man, don't bring that damn knife, man. He said, no, I ain't gonna bring it, man. I ain't gonna bring it. I said, man, go put that shit up, man. You wildin', man. He was like, I'm building. I was like, all right, he dipped out, y'all. Spool. I go back in the pod. I hit the steps like, what is this dude talking about, man? I did a curious run. This is what you call the curious run up the steps. Like, nice and calm, nice and chill. I'm like, this dude still, he told me he want to come holler at me. Like, I thought he supposed to be attacking the dude that's in my pod. I didn't get it. So I shoot in the cell, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, what is he doing, man? But he gave me his word. I don't think he'll put me in a predicament like this, like coming to attack this man. Everybody know I deal with him that's over there a little bit, you know what I mean? He the yard man that's not in our pod, that be 229 in our pod, coming to holler at me. Everybody jive know. So I'm like, man, look, like I don't know what he got going on, but he got that big ass knife back. That shit is spooky right there. He got that big ass knife, man. That shit is spooky, man. That shit is fucking spooky, man. So I'm like, damn, I'm just gonna wait till after count. So after count came, after count happened, you know, he got access to granny pass. He can move around, do whatever the fuck he want. Ain't no more rat. None of that. Ain't no child, none of that shit. I look up, slide it open. I come in the door and look. I see John coming. He hit the steps cool as hell. He was walking, he was like, he got up the steps cool like an old head. That jump was like, he got up the steps, he was like, I was like, come here, bro. He came in, he sat down, he was like, he pulled out his Feezy, he pulled out the roll up, he was like, crazy, man. I was like, what's up? He was like, man, why you gotta be related, man? Bro, man, that's crazy, man. Reek, man, that's crazy. I was like, man, you loud as hell, man. You loud as a bitch. He was like, no, Weezy, that's crazy though. That's crazy though, man. Started breaking up the weed. I'm like, man, that's wild, man. I was like, man, look, you need to let that shit go, man. He was like, hell no, man, fuck that shit. I said, you ain't got that big ass knife on you though. He was like, no, he looked at the shirt. He's like, no, I ain't got it. Hell no, I left that shit. I was like, man, let that shit go, man. He was like, I can't, Weezy. I can't. I said, man, well, look. I said, man, look though, bro. I said, you got another option. He was like, what? I said, man, just fight that nigga, man. Just fight that nigga, man. He was like, man, fuck that shit, man. I'm gonna fuck. He said, I gotta make him pay me. I'm gonna beat that fat motherfucker ass. I said, man, yeah, that's what you need to do. Just beat his ass, man. I said, man, just fight him, bro. I said, what do you got to lose, man? I said, just fight the nigga. I said, you look like you can beat the nigga. I said, the nigga look old, slow, freaking like maniac, fucking in the legs. He look like a psycho, man. Beat the nigga ass, man. He was like, I could beat his ass and get out the hole and shit too. I was like, you definitely gonna get out the hole for whipping his ass, bro. You definitely gonna get out the hole for whipping his ass, man. I said, man, just whoop the nigga ass, man. I said, man, push that nigga down when he get down close to the steps, then jump on his ass. Like I was giving him all type of psycho tactics, y'all. So boom, anything except freaking sticking him with that joint, man. Real talk, man. Like anything but that, man. Pause. Like the only reason I say that is because anything other than sticking him with that joint, like you don't know what you gonna hit. That joint he showed me was big. Pause. Like you don't know what you gonna like stab when you hit somebody with that joint. You pull out guts and everything. Getting stabbed in prison is a no-go, man. Like so, like I'm trying to talk him out this joint. So I'm almost there. I'm getting close. I'm like, yo, bro, come on, man. Let's fight the nigga, man. He was like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, he get up. He start looking out the door. Dude sitting at the table. All dude used to do is sit at the table and they'll play dominoes. He'll get next. He'll play dominoes. He'll go to child. He didn't even have his property yet. None of this shit. He still look like a nigga that just came up there. So I see him besides and dude, he like, man. I said, man, just beat that nigga ass, John. What the fuck? I said, man, look, just fuck that nigga up, man. Fuck that shit, man. If that nigga, you feel like that nigga gotta pay like that, you know what I mean? Goddamn, Goods family know that you whooped his ass. Goddamn it, I said, just beat the nigga ass, man. He was like, you know how you can tell a nigga think about something? He was like, I said, man, look, just fuck that nigga up, man. I said, just fuck that nigga. I said, man, Reek don't want you to take that nigga out, man. He was like, no, Reek like my little brother, man. Man, fuck, man, shout it, man. Fuck. Man, he just paced me. He was like, I said, man, listen, bro. If you hit that nigga with that joint, I said, you might fuck around and take his life. I said, for real, you get the death penalty for that shit, man. Like, I'm letting you know now, like, shit happened, man. He was like, I said, man, your sister don't want you to do that to her, bro. He was like, man, all right, fuck it. Fuck that shit. He put the joint on. He was like, man, fuck that shit then. Set it up, Weezy. Yeah, tell that motherfucker I'm trying to see that nigga. Tell that nigga I'm trying to see that nigga, man. I promise you, man. I was like, in my mind was going like this. Thank you, God. So, boom. Damn it. Yes. I was like, all right, stay right here. She got the steps like bad dudes. I get down the steps. I seen dude. I was like, hey. The other dude at the table, look. I said, no, him. Look. He was like, I said, me holler at you right quick, man. He was like, he got up at the table. I get a good look at him. Like, you know what I mean? He's kind of fat dude, you know what I mean? About my height a little bit. Bigger than me, don't pause. He come out, he was like, what's happening? I'm like, hey, look, somebody in here, man, that's 229 and saying that you related to somebody that's supposed to do something to his peoples, man. I said, look, without getting in the big scene, he trying to see you one-on-one. His homeboy at the table listening to me telling this, you know what I mean? So his homeboy like, who you talking about, Weezy? I'm like, look, I'm talking about John. He was like, John? He was like, what John say? I was like, man, look, John trying to see the nigga, bro. And that's just all it is. So when I say that, I see John come out the door. John push my door. He was like, his bad dude, John, so slow. He came down the steps. He was like, He came down the steps slow as hell. He got down the steps. He was like, hey, look, we got to fight, Shawty. Come on. Bring your fat ass in the cell, man. Come on. He told his homeboy to sit in the cell. He said, let me get this cell right quick. Yeah, bring your ass in this motherfucking cell. Dude was like, all right. Goddamn, John went in that bitch. I was like, yeah, look, y'all just, dude was like, what I'm fighting for again? What I'm fighting for again? John was like, yeah, because you motherfuckers unalive my nephew. He was like, who the fuck is your nephew? John told John, was like, who the fuck is my nephew? My nephew was, John said his nephew name. He was like, man, look, you want to fight for that? All right. Dude thought it was funny. I'm like, fuck, dude think this shit funny. So I'm like, this shit crazy. So, goddamn, John went in the cell. John went in the damn cell. I see John on his back to the John. John like this. It's my word, John on his back to the John. Dude like this. Dude talking to his homeboy. His homeboy's coming. The dudes he be playing dominoes with. They walk over there. They like, man, we see this joint. He was like, man. I was like, yo, look. This y'all crazy, man. So dude was like, yo, I'm ready. He started cuffing up his pants, you know what I mean? He got on some state shoes. He tied them shits tight. He got the freaking, the drop top boots on, y'all. He tied them shits tight. He like, that's how I knew he was a maniac on the load. The way he was fixing his lace, he was like, you know how you fix them one by one to make them tight? He was like, cuffed his pants up. He was like, his fat ass like he was ready. He was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't turn down no wreck, Charlotte. I don't turn down no wreck. This word. I was like, John, you ready? John was like, man, tell that motherfucker bring his ass in here. John started getting animated. John was like, man, tell him bring his motherfucking fat ass in here now. Now. I was like, yo, dude was like, all right, so we all come to the door. Word. Dude went up in that bitch. And she said, man, this word. When I finally got a good look, man, I seen fat nigga had John ass by the shirt, man. That's where he had John ass by the shirt. That nigga was like, boom, boom, boom. Man, nigga was well on John ass. I was like, that's all I could do is look like this, y'all. I was like, man, this is where you push John up off him. John fall all the way back to the bunk, it's 2 bunk beds. You know what I mean? It's like 2 bunk beds in the back. He fall all the way back in the bed. Boom, his back hit first, boom, and his head hit, boom. He was like, before he could recover, the fat dude was on him. Boom, boom, boom. I'm looking at the fat dude's style. Man, the fat dude is a rumbler, y'all. So boom. I'm like, oh shit. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This homeboy is like, yeah, fuck that nigga up. Fuck that nigga up. This boy, he get John. Boom, 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 boom. I look up, John ass in the air. Boom. He slammed John dumb. I was like, oh shit. Man, nigga get on John. That nigga start beating John ass. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh hell no. I was like, no, Weezy, let them niggas fight. That's between them, Weezy. I was like, man, what the fuck? I said, John, get up, John. Get up. I look up, dude, like this. Boom. Fuck, you ain't no nephew, nigga. Boom. Fuck wrong with you, nigga. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. Boom, nigga. Fuck wrong with you, nigga. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, man, look, man, break that shit up. Dude was like, all right, bro. They grabbed fat nigga. Fat nigga was like, fat nigga came on. Fat nigga was like, yeah. Fat nigga sweating bullets. He like, fuck that. Fuck wrong with this nigga, man. Fuck wrong with him. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. The fuck, nigga, how many nephews I got, nigga? I got 8 sisters, motherfucker. 3 brothers, nigga. Mama got 12 kids, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? God damn it. Talking about motherfucking nephew. Fuck, I ain't never see the fat nigga get that. I was like, oh shit. Them niggas came out that bitch. I was like, I walked in that bitch. I was like, shh, John. I was like, yo. John. I was like, yo, man, get the fuck up. I was like, John, come on, man. I was like, man, somebody help me get this nigga up, man. Niggas was like, yo, man, get that nigga the fuck out my cell, Weezy. I was like, fuck, man. I was like, man, John, get up, man. I felt so fucked up, y'all. Kinda, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, shit crazy, man. I was like, man, get up, bro. Come on, man. He was like, they were about 8, 9 on, man. No, he ain't say that. But I'm like, bro, get up, bro. He was like, I was like, man, get your ass up. He finally kind of got up. I was like, man, look, we gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta get back in your pod, bro. He was like, he was making a face like, I ain't gonna make it. And I was like, man, listen, John, come on, man. He was like, it's my word, I'm trying to get the nigga. The nigga fell back down the cell. Boom. When he fall back down the cell, he said, it was like he's doing rounds. They coming on the top and the bottom. I'm like, oh shit. This is my word. Everybody trying to do spurts for them scene. As I come out, the CO lady was right there. She was like, where you going, White? I was like, I ain't going nowhere. She was like, oh, get back over here. What? I was like, for what? She was like, what's wrong with him? I was like, man, I don't know what you talking about, man. I went to the table and started acting like I was watching a poker game. I was like, I don't know what the hell you talking about, man. Next thing you know, police coming that bitch deep as a motherfucker. They're like, hey, everybody locked down. Everybody locked down. White, you stay right there. You stay right there, White. I'm like, fuck, man. So they keep me right there. Police coming that bitch. White shirts coming that bitch. What the fuck happened to him, White? I was like, man, I don't know. They was like, y'all was fighting. I was like, man, do it look like I was fighting? They was like, take your shirt off. I took my shirt off, told me to spin around. You know what I mean? They checked my numbers. I said, I won't fight. It was like, what happened to him? I don't know. The fuck? I don't know. I just came in. I don't know what the fuck. It was like, all right, go to your fucking cell. I went to my cell. Man, my word, they get him up. They bring him out. They bring him out the cell. They put him on the table. You know what I mean? He sit at the main table right there. I'm looking right at the door at him. When he sit down at the table, bro got his jeans on. When he sit down, his jeans rise up. He got on old head jeans. His jeans rise up. They was like, what's that in his ankle? My word, bro had the banger in his ankle tied. That shit was tied to his, like he had it tied on some sweet shit coming out from his shoe all the way up to his ankle, but tied. Like you couldn't even really tell it was down there until he lifted his pants up. They was like, what's that on his ankle? They was like, what's that? He was like, John was like, he was still drunk. The niggas like, man, give me that shit. The niggas grabbed. He was like, how we get this shit off? John trying to move. He was like, man, how we get this shit? They was trying to grab that shit. He was like, see old dude in his pocket. He was like, nigga pulled out a joint. Like, he was grab that shit. He was like, man, then they got that shit tied with a sheet. He was like, the fuck? He was like, man, come on, man. Took that nigga out. I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Like I felt bad just because like I talked him out of doing something that was gonna be way worse. But like he lost the fight. I taught this man to fighting this dude, and he got his fucking ass whooped, man. I promise y'all, this shit was so fucking nuts. This shit was so fucking nuts. But you know, Lawrenceville is bootleg. Lawrenceville is bootleg, man. So he wasn't even in our pod. He was 229, and this shit happened to him, man. So they let us off lock the next day. This was that Saturday. So I see Reek. Reek was like, yo, what the fuck happened? I seen all the fucking police was running over y'all shit. He was like, man, Unc, hit that nigga, man. I was like, nah, bro. I was like, yo, man, I got Unc to fight that nigga one-on-one. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. I was like, man, but he beat Unc. I was like, man, but he beat John ass, bro. I was like, look at me, bro. He was like, for real? I was like, bro, listen, man, he beat the shit out John, man. I was like, that fat nigga fight his ass off. He was like, my goddamn baby mama told me he a rumbler, bro. I was like, man, what the fuck? I said, then they caught the nigga John. John got the fucking knife on his ankle. He was like, what? He was like, what? I said, yeah, man, they caught the hammer and everything, man. He was like, shh, that shit crazy. I was like, man, I feel bad, bro. He was like, for what? I said, cause I tried to talk him out of not hitting the nigga. He was like, bro, that shit would have been way much worse than him. And what he about to go through now if he would have hit that nigga, bro. He was like, I'm happy that shit happened, man. He was like, everything happened for a reason, though, Weezy, man. I was like, shh, I wasn't feeling right about it, but I get it, though. Like, I say the day and that shit happened, y'all. That's how I go in penitentiary, man. Like, they transfer goddamn John for that shit, man. They transfer him for that, man. The fat nigga never went down for that shit, man. Every time I used to see that fat dude in the compound, man, I would think about that ass whooping that he gave John. Real shit, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. That ass whooping will always come back in my memory like, God damn, that fat motherfucker run with his ass off. So like, it was just a different situation for me to experience, man, because I talked the man out of taking justice in his own hands. But after I talked him out of doing it, man, I talked him into getting his ass whooped, man. That was fucked up on my behalf. I should have just stayed out the whole situation. Y'all put it in the comments, man. Like, but that was a crazy situation, y'all. That's the damn story, though. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all know the count, man. I need y'all to stay out the way out here, man. Why? Because your family needs you to, man. They don't need you in a can where they gotta write you and send you money and do all of that shit, man. Let's stay out here, for we don't have to put them through that type of situation, man. So y'all already know what it is, man. Stay y'all ass out the way, period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This was a weekend banger game. So what did y'all do? Like, subscribe, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But be safe out there, y'all. And stay y'all ass out the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments can pay for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart just to open your eyes up.